talking about some of the health impacts of physically, but what about mental health? The
Oh
sleep,
man.
the importance of sleep and how it affects mental health.
Well, mental health issues in the United States are a pandemic. There's a real pandemic. I mean, the number of people on meds, I think it's 70% of Americans are on at least one med. And depression is pandemic. There's a lot of it these days, especially with younger people. And so, yeah, it, as I mentioned, it lowers performance. It makes you crabby and irritable, and you can't think as well. I mean, I know, a few weeks ago, I had to stay up most of the night because I broke my own website. And I mean, I broke it. It wasn't, you couldn't do anything on my website. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to stay up late fixing it, which I didn't want to do. And I know that if I had to, so it takes me 2 days to recover from something like that. It's like, but it really messes with your mind. It's like, and it shows with, I go and get a quantum biofeedback scan, which is this technology that can scan your body and see what's going on. And it's like, oh, your brain is down at 60%, And I was like, yeah, no surprise there. So sleep deprivation, in long term, it causes a lot of major problems. I mean, like, for example, one people might not think about, mineral loss. This is something I've seen quite a bit. When you get older, when you're young, you don't think about this too much. Most people don't ever get a bone density scan. But when I was in my late 40s, my wife and I went and got bone density scans, and we were surprised to see that I was on the low end of normal, and she was getting the beginnings of osteopenia, which was shocking to us because we ate a well mineralized diet. We were supposedly eating all the right stuff, but it was from stress, and so once we turned that around, we were able to, and also diet. It was also diet. We weren't getting enough fat soluble vitamins because at the time we were on a vegan diet and we weren't getting enough fat soluble vitamins. So that affects sleep too, by the way, because when you're not getting enough magnesium in your diet, that slows brainwave states down, de-stresses you and relaxes you. So, there's another thing. But so all of those kinds of things combined, you have to be looking at when you're dealing with resolving these sleep issues.
Well, and you've talked about how sleep affects, a lack of sleep will affect your adrenals, it'll affect your thyroid. And I've dove into the fact that if your thyroid isn't working, you're going to be depressed and anxious and have mental mood disorders. And a lot of people are looking to antidepressants as the solution, and they're not looking at their thyroid. And if you're running around hypothyroid, then you're going to have sleep problems. You're going to feel fatigued. Then you're going to reach for the stimulants and the sugar, trying to get some energy from something, and it's not going to work. That's going to disrupt your sleep more, then continue this roller coaster of having no physical energy, no mental energy. And then what happens is you actually get depressed over the fact that you can't get out of this cycle.
That's right.
And, right? I mean, when we get sick and we have the flu, we know at least that it's going to be over in a week. Versus when you're nauseous or don't feel good and have no idea why, then you're going to eventually get depressed over the fact that you can't do anything about it. Well, it's the same with this cycle of not feeling good, no energy, no physical energy, no mental energy. And that was starting to happen to me. And I also was actually getting blurred vision, and I couldn't figure out why my heart rate wasn't lowering. And it was partly blood sugar. It was obviously the EMFs from my cell phone.